Hello, everyone. Welcome to the seventh episode of Not Another United podcast. So, we're just a bunch of three good friends. One of us is missing today. But yeah, and we sit every week to just discuss on everything United. And I think I can sum up for the both of us that arguably Manchester United is our first love, is it?
Let me,
And maybe one of the
yeah,
longest
a
relationships
longest,
we've ever
longest
had.
relationship.
No, अभी पेरेंट्स के साथ भी तो होता है. But yeah, so I'm Tushar
Hey,
here,
hi.
and we have Siddharth. And moving on to our normal flow, we'll start with the theater. And yeah, Sid, what are your thoughts on the last match? Pretty low scoring game, very boring to say
Say,
the least.
so I hope I'm audible. I think one of her best performances under Amorim from an attacking standpoint, one of the worst performances under Amorim from a defensive standpoint. Every goal was avoidable. Every, I mean, we are clearly missing a central figure in the defense. As good as Heaven and Euro are, we are missing Dillett or and Maguire in defense. But I was encouraged by the performance that was on display. I had the same feeling after West Ham's match. I had the same feeling after Tottenham's match, not so much after the Nottingham match. That these are points dropped. But I think I wouldn't say it was a fair result on the balance of it. I think we deserved to win the match simply because of the sheer volume of scoring chances that we created. Mbumo had an off game, I felt. I mean, yeah, and
First,
not his
I
first
think.
exactly. I think he has hit a bit of a rough patch in the last 3-4 matches. So I think in that sense, while we will miss him terribly, I think AFCON has come at the right time for him. I hope he regains his scoring touch and comes
Yeah.
back a player that we know him to be. But other than that, I feel a sense of disappointment, yet encouragement for the upcoming matches.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with everything you've said, which is why it is a little painful, to be honest, to have done so much yet to have drawn the match against against okay, a decent side and at home. And again, I would say this was one of those matches I expected us to win, which is kind of a semi pattern which is shaping up that we are possibly winning matches where people expect us to lose, but the other way around, we are having to dig deeper than what it should be, really, with the quality we have, with the players we have. And yeah, I mean, see the like first half was excruciatingly painful, yet one of the most beautiful 45 minutes we've seen for God knows what, 5, 6, 7 years at large. Maybe we did something similar with Ole, but I don't remember any other match where I felt this way. But then again, imagine that we would have entered halftime at 1-1 almost because we scored literally in the last minute, and that too was a keeper mistake, right? So I think your voice is, you have to do that, but yeah. So. And then us having what, 24 shots in the first half, the most by
Right.
any team in the Premier League this season. And irrespective of the shots, the XG, like the kind of chances we had, मतलब वही ominous feeling आ जाती है कि maybe it is going to be one of those days because I mean, that's just how it has been this season. We had our highest XG in 2 years, which was
Oh, is it?
2.62 in the first half.
Oh,
There are yeah. There are n number of chances, of course, that Cunha and Mbumo won, Mount's chance, Bruno's chance, Cunha's chance as well, which is easier than what it looks because he did well. Like he tried to use the defender as a shield. उसके बाद एक push pass टाइप ही मारना था दूसरे कॉर्नर में कीपर वाज आल्सो ऑफ footed but um, and yeah again then the second half is that again semi pattern repeating itself. We conceded a goal after 38 seconds. Um, and and also I think even in the last episode I discussed with Bhuppi, It seems like we are having to come up with 10, 12, 13 chances just to score one. The
Yeah.
other team just needs one. That's it. And if you remember, सबसे पहला जो chance बोर्नमथ ने बनाया था, which was against the run of play, where one of
Hmm.
their forwards had a header, free header, right, which
Yeah, yeah,
Amass
yeah,
saved,
yeah.
which easily could
Correct.
have been a goal. And again, I felt कि मतलब it is so easy to thread through us, and it was so easy for us to. वो बहुत
I think
disappointing था. मतलब
no,
I
no, I
just
agree. I absolutely agree, and I think while we have definitely improved over the last year, I think there's no denying that. But we're not winning enough matches. Even now, we've only won 7 out of 16 matches. Wherein we should have easily won 10 out of 16 matches. In my opinion, I think uh, West Ham's match, Everton's match, and Bournemouth's match. Three matches right there that we should have won. Probably Tottenham's as well. But I mean, these things balance itself out. But we should have.
we keep saying that
But
they will balance themselves out against what?
no, I
Against the
mean,
City, against the Arsenal of the world,
we
against
should. I
Liverpool.
mean,
मतलब
while we are sixth, we are at 26 points. These are the kind of matches that could be the difference between fifth and sixth, right? Those 2 pointers, and I mean, I was just thinking about this the other day. The way the league is panning out to be such unpredictable league. Had we won our matches, our home matches, right? Everton, West Ham, and Bournemouth, 7 points. I mean, and I'm not even. It's not even a wishful thinking against 10-man Everton. Okay, we played badly, but against West Ham, we should have won. Against Bournemouth, we should have won. And also another thing. I mean, while we did play brilliant football attacking wise, but in both the matches, in uh, in both the matches, that is West Ham and Bournemouth, they scored in the 83rd minute, right? Which essentially meant that we still had close to 15, 16 minutes to come up with a winner. But neither did I see us scoring against West Ham in in the last 13, 14 minutes, barring the Brunos, barring the final Brunos chances. Or I expected United to give it one final push, right? So my point is that while our attacking play has improved, there is still that mental block that we have, which prevents us from taking the match to closure, right? So I feel it's more a mental thing, obviously tactical, but more a mental thing than anything else.
so, so by the way, I would disagree with your point. Maybe half agree, half disagree because मुझे बहुत abstract लगती हैं statements to be honest. मतलब just 6, 7 matches ago we were lauding the same thing that yes, our mental side has improved with us having those last minute equalizer at Tottenham, for example, and a few other games as well where we've done the same. That yes, we have that metal now. I remember you talking about it. Bhuppi was also talking about the same thing. I think it's more a case of us
It's two
not being
sides of the
sharp
same
enough
coin.
during
It's two
the
sides of the
last
same
moments.
coin. I
In
mean, in one situation we are trailing and we have nothing to lose, but in the second situation, we have been pegged back at home, right? All these three matches are when you're pegged back at home, and you have to give it one final push. That one final push is not coming at home, is what I meant to say.
yeah, I'll also say that there is a because of how we play and because of how players are running, of course they are gassed. Of course they're not as sharp as they would be at the start of a match. We have a clear lack of difference
Yeah.
makers from the bench anyway, right? So that's one obvious thing. Like whenever we make a substitute, more often than not, we are depleting our quality, especially attacking quality. And I think I'm being very polite when I say more often than not. It's 10 out of 10 times. We are depleting our quality. So I think it's more a case of that. And again, matlab, it's like um, the numbers will catch up with your performances sooner rather than later. If you cannot score when you're dominating, then what good is it to dominate? Matlab, what's the point? And I know now you would echo my sentiments from the when we had those Spurs ka match, when we had Nottingham's match, and I was maybe ranting a little bit, but it was exactly, of course, I didn't know that this would happen, but yeah, it was about what it represented. Key the matches we that are there for the taking, and maybe some of these ugly wins like we did against Palace, this will surely be a difference maker because I mean we are going to have a very tough run as well, which will start pretty soon. And this was our chance to capitalize. I'll say we've not capitalized it the way we could. Um, Moving on to, I think, any obvious hits and misses, or
So,
any man of the match
so I
that came
think
out of this game against
Bruno and Ahmad
Bournemouth.
were hits for me. Cunha too. Cunha was brilliant and he did score a good goal. I think Mbuma was a miss. I think uh, he he missed a couple of easy chances, at least one easy chance. He could have taken a touch and finished it off, but I think that's one. And another, I think Shaw was a miss for me, primarily because he gave away that goal, which I mean, he made that mistake that led to the goal that Semenyo scored. Other than these, I think all the other players had a good match. See, I'm not too. I mean, I know Heaven is a young player, but it'll take time for him to to establish himself. So I really don't want to categorize him as a hit or a miss in this particular match. But I'll reserve my judgment there. Uh, Martinez was a miss. Lisandro Martinez, for the time that he came on the pitch, was a miss.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to have a man of the match in such games, uh, to be honest. But yeah, Ahmad seemed like back to his flying best. Like every time he has the ball, you feel that something is going to happen, and he was cutting in on his right foot as well. He was putting in decent crosses. I still feel his in terms of his finishing, there's a whole lot of scope for improvement, and him taking more shots and him testing the keeper a lot more. But yeah, like certain things like us giving away the lead
Hmm.
thrice at home does not put us in a very good light. Um, like the first half and the euphoria sort of, and then conceding, and then moving down to a point where we are looking at like a such a bad defeat,
Yeah.
right? Almost. And at the end, if there was any
Yeah, yeah,
team who
yeah.
could have scored, it was Bournemouth. Um, and like of course we brought back down to earth again, and like the to and fro was immense. So again we're setting a few records which are not in our favor. Like Bournemouth becomes the first team now to have scored 3 goals at Trafford in 3 consecutive seasons. And but yeah, gladly we didn't lose, so we didn't end up uh, shaving off a few big records that we have. I think we'll reach that in our last section. But yeah, in terms of, I think the next thing I wanted to discuss was the whole attack versus defense dichotomy, right? Which this match has clearly put us in. Um, and I think you've already given your take on it. There are just certain numbers I wanted to start with before we add context here. So we have no clean sheet in 9 games. We have one clean sheet in 17 games in all competitions, which is absolutely horrific. And in total, out of Amorim's 43 Premier League games with United, we have just had 6 clean sheets, which puts us easily in the bottom 5, bottom 6 in the league, maybe worse. Um, so, so yeah, um, this is what I'm left to. But like, I think you summed it up perfectly. The best match we've had in terms of attacking, and it's just a shitty coincidence that one of the worst defensive matches
Yeah.
उसी दिन ही होना था when we are giving our because if so I was thinking of course a game is of such fine margins always, right? Even if we are able to scrape through and win 4-3 or let's say 5-4, the whole narrative would have changed drastically. We would be talking about this this match
That's
with such
always
a
the case,
different
no? Matlab,
um, like
yeah.
happiness
You know,
level sort of.
sometimes, and I've always felt this way, that I feel jubilant after a win. I feel sad after a loss, but I feel weird after a draw. I mean, I just can't explain that feeling. There's this feeling of uh, coming to terms with the draw, and this is just the same match. I mean, you know, so if you look at all the four goals that we conceded, first goal Shaw's error, second goal the team was switched off. It happened so quickly that the team did not have. I mean, those are just excuses, but that's the only excuse I could think of. Third, Lemons should have done better.
Free kick.
Lemons should have definitely done better. He the positioning of the ball was all over the place, and his positioning was all over the place.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't know why we left that space
And
between Konya and
चौथा गोल तो comedy of errors था, starting with Mainoo, who rushed in to take the ball, and then the midfield, donut-shaped midfield, completely open. Then Martinez sleeping, not aware of his surroundings, and then it was yeah,
it
and
felt
then
like
it was an easy
a daily
finish.
goal.
It was an easy
It's fine.
finish. So and most of the goals that we concede, right? I mean, in we have conceded so far, they're all most of them are preventable goals. It's not as if teams are coming exactly how you said, right? Teams normally only need one chance to score against us, right? And I don't know if I have to put it down to personnel or individual errors or team tactics. But I think it's a combination of all the three.
Yeah, I think to sum this section up in a way, so this particular match, there
Yeah,
were 37 efforts on goal, both teams combined, which is a record for any match this season. And of course, this being at home, this being against Bournemouth, 4-4 isn't justified whatsoever. And we've had a few matches which where we've ended up with the same feeling. Moving on now, I think maybe to a pre-match situation wherein we all know what Ruben Amorim said before the match against Bournemouth, right? I think this was another one of his classic interviews where we are left divided. But yeah, what was your take, A, on his admission of how he has performed this season and his take on the academy, which was, I think, half
I think
controversial at best.
firstly his honesty is refreshing. Reminds me of Mourinho. That's the thing with Portuguese players. They're too honest and same things happening with Bruno in some of the recent interviews that have come out. But coming to Amorim, I feel I think his he was misinterpreted in the sense of what he was trying to convey vis-a-vis what came out and what was taken out of his quotes by the British media. Uh, so essentially, what I feel, but I mean, it was an awkward interview. It was an awkward statement at best. Such things, even if they are true, should not be said out loud to a pack of wolves. That is the British media, definitely, who is just looking for a single opportunity to rip into the club. Uh, so I feel what he said, and if I take individual examples, right? For example, Harry Amass, by when he said that he's struggling, what he meant to say was that Sheffield Wednesday is struggling, right? And
But
no,
that's
so
not how
so
it came
so
up.
that
I
was
mean, even I didn't
clarified
read
by
it
United
that way.
reporters in the subsequent days. Then for Chido Obi, Chido Obi did, and to be honest, Chido Obi is going through a transition phase in the sense that he has made a jump from under 18 to under 21, and he has not taken the league by storm. So that definitely, I mean, while the clamor can grow for him to be part of the men's team, he's still a long way from that. And then lastly, Toby Collar, I mean, he's injured right now, but when he was not injured, he was not starting for Wisdom. So none of the statements were false, essentially, but there's a way to put those across. There's a time and opportunity to say all those things. But, that's also reflective of the larger issue that I have with current crop of players, not only at United, but across the landscape, wherein they're very trigger happy. Back in the olden days, because of lack of exposure to social media, less screens, less cameras on you, people would have such conversations in person. But now everything gets played out on the public forum, and there was no need for Chido Obi, Amas to I mean to retort or other retaliate with social media images. Though no one is naive enough to assume that those posts can be seen in isolation. Obviously, they are They are they were strategic responses to what Amorim said. So
I didn't
Amass
even see what
basically
did
right after the quote, Amass put up an image showing his Man of the Match award with Chido. Chido B put up a similar image. Toby did not do it, but I think much like in a corporate setting wherein you take every feedback that's given to you either privately or publicly in your stride and move ahead with it without creating ruckus about it. Same thing applies to the world of football as well. But people, I mean, we are cut from a different cloth than what the next generation is. As simple as that. Uh, so yeah, I mean that's my stance, and I think while we are on this topic, uh, while I have my very strong opinions on what on the situation with Kobe Mainoo, I'm sure you would have seen that his half brother wore a T-shirt saying "Free Kobe Mainoo." So what is your take? I think that would have been your next question in continuation to this. So what's your take on it?
yeah, yeah. So I'll just wrap up the previous one. Basically, like you said, I think it was unavoidable, some of the things he said. And I don't think you need to single out players like that. And frankly, I might have done the same. Um, and I think even Hariyamas was the player of the month as well, if I'm not wrong, for Sheffield Wednesday. Uh, so yeah, like I don't mind that because of course उनका एक perception भी तो create हो रहा है, right? And it's very easy for narratives to change. So and yeah, these conversations can be personal, and you need not take names. You could just easily say that in a very different way. But yeah, more on that later. And yeah, Kobe Mainoo's brother, half brother, with his T-shirt has been causing a storm. And so, frankly, as a fan, I feel this is the strongest link of him wanting to go away from Trafford and go away very quickly. Like he feels his time is done because you can't do that without um pseudo permission from the player himself, right? Nobody's stupid enough to do that. And given how high profile a Premier League United player is, it just can't be a case of my brother is just feeling sad and brother or sibling whoever and they've done it on their own accord without telling me. It can't be the case. And of course, if this is the feeling that they have, which means Kobe has been relaying these thoughts as well, right? In whatever conversations they must be having. So yeah, it's a bold statement. It's a very strong statement. I would have never felt that Kobe or any of his entourage would stoop down to this level because this is giving me Garnacho vibes, uh, not dissimilar to what he did. And yeah, it just shows that his time is done, and maybe this will just give us a hit in terms of what we can get from him money wise. But yes, it would be sad to see another academy player go
So
if this is what
so
this
in this scenario, who
bold
would you
move
side with?
represents.
Would you side with the club or with the player?
Yeah, so I mean, you don't need to make it uglier than it is. So whoever is playing a role in doing that, I can't be on their side. Um, not getting chances to play is a whole different conversation altogether. How you handle that situation is on you. It's not the first time that somebody's been left out uh,
Right.
undeservingly, maybe let's say, and it won't be the last time either. But there's a sense of respect that you have. There is a chain of command. There's a set of rule book, a guideline, let's say your own moral compass, right? And you can't do that to your own club, even if you don't like your current organization. You just don't do that. I mean, I can't ever do
So
that, but yeah.
no, I completely agree, and I think I will never side with a player, and Kobe is one of my favorite players among the current lot. But uh, I will never side with a player over the club, irrespective of how fond I am of that particular player. And knowing the rude health that our academy is in, I'm pretty confident that I mean it will be Kobe's loss if he moves on. But I completely agree that these things do not happen in isolation. They can't be treated in silos. And he asked for a transfer two games into the season. He has been, I mean, not him directly, but his advisors have been leaking things to the press saying that he is looking to move out and stuff. I think he has been poorly advised, and a lot of some of the other podcasts that I follow, they also echo the same thing that he has been poorly advised. I mean, everyone is aware of the fact that Bruno either Bruno is on his way out in the coming season, right? And the club wants to position Mainoo as the one to take over the take over the role that Bruno is playing. Uh, so as you said, right, he's not the first player who has been left out of the starting 11, and it's not like he has been frozen out. He's getting regular minutes in every matches, 20, 30, 35 minutes. So he has been given opportunities to prove himself from the bench. I know, but and not as a starter, but there's a way to conduct yourself. And I think far often than not, players have started taking these liberties with United as a club. And this is Manchester United that we are talking about, probably the biggest club in the world alongside Real Madrid. And can you imagine, Real Madrid being okay with their some one of any of their player doing pulling off a stunt like this, or Barcelona being okay with it, or Liverpool, Bayern, City, anyone being okay with it? No. So if clubs of similar stature, are not won't be okay with something of this occurrence, then so should not United. And I think whatever stance the club takes, I don't know. I don't know how this will pan out. I don't know if he'll be frozen out or if there's a way back. It remains to be seen. But whatever happens, I will side with the club on this. That's something that I'm pretty clear about. And I think you echo the sentiment as well. I mean, we are on the same page, I believe, on that front.
Yeah, yeah, completely. So I think it's a good sort of segue for us to move into the next section, which is the red zone, full of controversial and hot takes. But I think we've already touched upon a few controversies in the first section anyway. Just keeping the paucity of time under consideration, let's try to be as concise as possible for our two loyal listeners. Hi, Mom. So yeah, just moving on to the first one, Bruno Fernandes
अरे
and his interview, right, where he clearly says, "I know that the club wanted me to go, and this is what I feel, and I have that in the back of my mind." So I think it's similar to Mainoo, like
Is it
my
similar to what
perception
Salah said? I
is
mean,
similar
is
to
it
that.
that strong an interview in your opinion?
So frankly, I didn't see like I don't remember exactly what Salah said. Like I watched some snippets of it. Um, but from what I remember, I don't think it is as grave because firstly he's talking about the past, but then again, if you're mentioning it now, it means I
So
mean
the
he'd
interview
still
was
feel the
done when he
same
was
way.
away
Otherwise,
with
then he wouldn't be.
the Portuguese team on international duty. So the interview still is I think when was the last transfer? When was the last international window? एक महीना हो गया ना? हाँ उतना पुराना है इंटरव्यू. हाँ.
Yeah, 2 3 weeks, 2 3 weeks, 2 3 weeks. I think.
But yeah, I mean, why bring it up now when you have already said something completely opposite in the month of October? I just don't get it. I did not understand one bit the need for. I mean, obviously there is a need for him to do this interview in his mind. I just don't get it. I don't understand that.
Yeah, common sense would tell me that he knows he's gone 100%. He knows he has offers. He has
For summer,
arguably
right?
accepted one or two of them, and yeah, yeah, and he is going 100% is what my common sense tells me. And this is just his way of sort of nudging the narrative um, on his side a little bit, especially from a fan standpoint, because he clearly is a legend at the club, and I think he will remain so. And yeah, this is just him skewing that emotional
I
quotient,
don't
sort
know
of.
whatever said and
Um,
done. I'll miss him dearly. So I don't know what will happen, but let's enjoy him till the time he's there with us.
yeah, मतलब फालतू का I mean drama
I
in the
I
middle of
don't get it.
not in the
I
middle of the
just don't
season,
get it.
but you're the captain
One
of the
normal
club.
day, that's what we want from United. One normal day. But
But this was just Too
यू नो
shocking
एक
for, I
फाइनली
mean,
आज ही उसका रियो के साथ इंटरव्यू आया है और उसने एक और चीज फिर से बोली कि मैंने स्निपेट्स पढ़े हैं, उसने फिर से बोला कि आई होप द क्लब रियलाइजेस एंड नॉट इन अ क्रूड वे बट उसने बोला कि आई होप द क्लब रियलाइजेस दैट आई स्टूड विद देम थ्रू थिक एंड थिन व्हेन आई हैड ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटीज टू लीव. सो आई थिंक ये कहीं ना कहीं उसके दिमाग में अटका हुआ है कि यार द क्लब इज नॉट रिकॉग्नाइजिंग हिज कंट्रीब्यूशन, which I don't think is true. The fans are recognizing club. I don't know about the club, but I think the consensus should be that he's our best player post Fergie. Uh,
so maybe it is about his contract renewal or the fact that he's not being offered a big contract in terms of length or money. So your voice is, uh,
Sorry, I went on mute.
I don't know, maybe it could be that because
So
we are not privy
no,
to
I
these
mean
conversations.
while his interview with Bruno with Rio is far more mellowed down, far more inward looking कि हम मैंने उतना अचीव नहीं किया जितना मुझे करना था. हमने उतनी ट्रॉफीज नहीं जीती हैं जितना मैं जीतना आया था यहाँ पर. But what he said which stood out for me is that he said that I hope the club and the fans acknowledge that I stood with them through thick and thin. So I think कहीं ना कहीं उसके दिमाग में ये है कि ये acknowledgement important है उसके लिए.
Again, not sure what to make of it, but yeah. So yeah, moving on to the next bit. Do you think the current crop of United is, as much as it pains me to say this, we are mirroring Klopp's first season or the first couple of seasons with Liverpool,
If
and of course a subset of this is, should a rebuild be based on attack or defense
you
according to you?
to answer your first question, I think we are on the same trajectory as Klopp's first season. If we assume this season to be Klopp's first season, wherein they were exciting to watch, but then calamitous at the back. See, the rebuild, any championship that you win has is based on defense. I mean, that goes without saying. The age-old adage that championship wins you don't. I mean, goals wins you matches, defense wins you championship, right? Uh, so it has to be based in defense, but for us, the most important aspect of the rebuild, and I now agree with you, is the midfield, not the forward line, not the defensive line, but the midfield. Because if the midfield is strong enough, then the defense kind of takes care of itself because midfield is the first line. I mean, the most important line of defense, right? Uh, so I feel that that the club will prioritize midfield, the rebuild of midfield in the coming month, in the coming window and the summer window, and I think we can see a similar transformation that was done with the forward line, right? Bruno is most probably leaving, right? Casemiro is likely to leave. Ugarte Ugarte is likely to leave. Mainoo's future is up in the air. So unless one of these positions get filled from someone from the academy, which you need three first team midfielders, and then one position gets filled by the academy or Mainoo, right? Uh,
Just when we think we're getting closer
No,
to
we are
having a
we are
full
nowhere
squad,
near the
um,
finished article, right? Even within the matches, we are so inconsistent. We are consistently inconsistent, right? And that's because of our midfield. If the midfield is having a field day, then we are a great team to watch. But if the midfield is suffering, then it's a horrid watch. Uh,
at least I have given this a lot of energy since most of our conversations, and my stance will still remain the
but
same.
yeah, now
But yeah,
defense
yeah, you were
rebuild.
saying.
I mean, we need one center back for sure. I think let's see how Martinez performs in the next 6 7 months. But if he is not up to the speed, I think the time is right to sell him off, him and Shaw, and then bring in another starting centre back, someone like a Mark Gehi or something of similar ilk, Premier League proven, and yeah, left
And
wing
of
back,
course, the
yeah.
left back. Yeah, left wing back. So yeah, the only thing I feel we are doing differently than Liverpool is I remember Liverpool being more consistent in their style of is what I can say that we still have certain matches where we don't know who we are. I don't notice that with Liverpool, and of course, I'm not a Liverpool fan, right? Far from it. So I'm not sure कि वो कितना consistently खेल रहे थे, but that's the only thing. And good you touched the topic of the midfield. Just one random thought during this match came to me was that if Bruno was playing with like a midfield enforcer or like a true destroyer, who's like a box to box midfielder who has like legs for days, sort of. I think he could have or probably would have been a Ballon d'Or nominee every single year, most likely. Potentially. I mean, that does not
So
say that, but yeah, he would
I
have been
absolutely agree.
an even better
Who
player
would have been the
in terms of
perfect
throughput.
foil for Bruno? N'Golo Kante, someone of his ilk who can cover every blade. Sorry.
Not Rice.
See, Rice is
Rice,
not the
not Rice.
same. Rice is, I think, so Kante is in the same mold as Makelele, right? But Rice is in a similar mold as Rodri or Carrick, who I mean they are those. Rice is a world class player, no two ways about it. But he, we need someone like a Baleba or a Caicedo to you know to to push Bruno forward literally. Mm. And yeah, absolutely agree that with a better midfield partner, a better partner than Casemiro, and I still rate Casemiro highly. uh, Bruno would have been a man of the match player every single match. He would have had.
Deluded if you say that you rate Casemiro highly even now. God damn. How
Look at
the
his
hell
goal
can you say
scoring
that?
contribution. He has had 5 goals.
That's not the only thing that matters. His fundamental objective as a midfielder is completely different, and never in a single match he does
So
that well because he can't.
why does he keep? Why does
He
Bruno
can't.
Amorim keep choosing him over Ugarte? Say Ugarte, who has legs to cover every blade of grass.
That makes me judge Ugarte
See,
and Mainoo a lot more than Casemiro. Casemiro and shitty.
okay, I mean we've had enough and more discussion.
Again, wait. If we had like a midfielder who was supporting us, and only then I would say, like he's just a squad player at best, and he's not a good midfielder at all because he does not do a midfielder
So
duty. Far from it. It's not as if he's a very good attacking enforcer either. He assists देता है. He threads a lot of long passes. He hardly can even hold the ball, man. Match में दिखता है. He does not even. You can't even see him active on the field because he cannot hold the ball. As soon as it comes, he threads it through because उसको
तुझे
पता है वो
हमारे
नहीं कर
प्ले में
सकता.
डिफरेंस नहीं लगता जब कैसेमीरो होता है जब नहीं होता है बिकॉज मुझे दिखता है कि we lose that sense of control when Casemiro is not there. So while I agree that he's, I mean, our midfield pairing is among the is not nowhere near the top 7 or 8 Premier League clubs, but uh, I mean. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि Casemiro is a horrible player. I mean, ठीक है, let's park that aside for a later day. It's a debate in itself. It's a podcast in itself.
Yeah, which is I love the fact that he got a yellow card, and I'm glad next match we'll have a different pairing anyway. This match maybe it was clear to see, मतलब he is so old and so slow that he could not even concede that foul sooner. मतलब जब उसने concede किया ना, I thought that he will not do it because he had multiple chances before in the same run to do it, but he chose to do it perfectly for Bournemouth, as if he has like सट्टा लगा रखा है इसकी माँ ने और अब करना है मुझे भाई क्योंकि वो गोल स्कोर होगा और तभी फिर ब्रूनो और पुणे ने जगह भी छोड़ी ब्रूनो ने दिखा भी दिया कि वो इधर गोल मारेगा क्योंकि बिके हुए हैं सब. But it was absolutely horrible and but nobody in the Premier League can run a midfield with those kind of legs, man. It shows me how badly other people are performing even in practice as well for him to get the number of
No, I
starts
think
he's
it's
getting.
not
And
about.
his attacking throughput is
It's I think Amorim going with his trusted bunch of players he's confident about, players जिनके स्किल सेट का उसको अच्छे से पता है. I think nothing more than that. I think in the balance of team, the way Amorim sees his football, sees his team, the way he sees his team playing football, Casemiro fits better than Ugarte or Mainoo. And to think that Ugarte has played for Amorim in the past.
Winners, I also feel there are certain other forces at play as well which we don't know, we can't know. So yeah, just to sum up Bruno, by the way, even this season he's had the most goals and assists.
Acha, Haaland
Of
is
course,
ahead of
after
him.
Haaland, that beat. Yeah, I think so. Bruno has 12, and he has the most number of assists as well at 7. He has the most chances created, which is 50 in 16 games. And imagine that, of course, with the season we've had, and he still keeps putting up these numbers as if it's nothing. Um, so yeah, now just I think this is the last of our questions in this section. United's current season, would you see it as one loss in 10 games or just two
Hmm.
wins in seven?
So I
And I
would
know
see
you're
it
a
as
glass half
19
full
points in
kind of a
10
guy.
matches, which is not a bad return. So I would see it as one win. I ideally wants to see it as one loss in 10 matches, but given the matches that we've drawn, I can't help but overlook the fact that we have only won two, wherein we should and should have won at least four matches in the last seven matches. So yeah.
Like even at mine, it's a very, very easy choice. It is just two wins in seven every single day. Seven ways to Sunday, how to say it, right? Because arguably one of our easiest so-called patches wherein we have played
But yeah,
Everton
we
at
should
home.
stop saying that. No,
Matlab
seeing
playing
the league
Everton
that
at
we
home.
have, league table, there are no easy matches. There are no
No, no,
easy
no.
matches, na?
No, but there is a barometer that we'll hold
I
ourselves
don't
to as
think there
well,
are any
right?
easy matches. For example,
Like
वुल्स को हमने 4 सुनना
what did
सुनना
I
वुल्स को हमने 4-1 हराया,
relatively
but
easier.
Arsenal, who has been far and away the best team in league and one of the best teams in Europe, they struggled to beat them 2-1, and they have been struggling for form in the past 3-4 matches. So my point is that while the
But you're forgetting a very important factor. Arsenal are playing
no, I
two
agree.
matches
I
in a week.
absolutely
We are just playing one.
no, I
And
agree.
you
I
know how
agree.
big of an impact
But
that can have.
it was still Arsenal against Wolves. The gulf is so much that they should have easily won, and they did win. But it should have been far easier than what it panned out to be.
But यार
Ma-
वही ना साइलो में ऐसे एक एक मैच
हाँ
जीत
नहीं
रहे हैं
नहीं
तो फिर
so so
आर्सेनल
उसी
हार
हिसाब
रहे हैं.
से I have had this discussion with myself multiple number of times कि यार जितने हमने points गवाए हैं right and जो points हमको मिलने चाहिए थे I mean we don't deserve jack shit but realistically जो होने चाहिए थे हम आर्सेनल के हम 33 points पे तो आराम से होने चाहिए थे right that's not my point is that while I agree that we have only won two matches in seven and that's how we should see it but there are no easy fixtures in Premier League I firmly believe that barring a couple.
Yeah, which is why I was very careful in saying relatively easier. Relatively easier. Like out of Everton at home, Palace away, West Ham
या
home,
ये
Wolves
था
away,
ये पांच
Bournemouth home.
इजी है मतलब
And to have one Palace away out of these, of course, Wolves were expected that.
so we have
So
won
that's
two
the
matches
bone of contention, right?
in the last five we have drawn two won two lost one right.
Yeah. But still two wins in the last seven because we drew against Spurs
नॉटिंगम
and
डाइजेस्ट कर
Nottingham.
सकता हूँ मैं क्योंकि we came back from behind Spurs वाला we were,
यार वो तो वही है ना मतलब डाइजेस्ट तो सभी कुछ ही हो जाएगा मतलब वो तो हो ही चुका है बट ठीक है मतलब basically we our Palace match was an exception and again the rest wherever we should win struggle हो रहे हैं to do that and yes there are
on
aberrations
this
along the
note
way as well
one
like
win one
Everton at
loss
home.
in 10 or two wins in seven you can extrapolate these two varying stats to the fact that are you convinced about Amorim or are you still on the periphery with Amorim out? I mean, agar if you say you're one then in 10, one loss in 10, which means that you're convinced that we are going in the right direction. But when you say that we have only won two in seven, it kind of implies that you're not still convinced about Amorim.
So I think we've discussed that a few times now. It is paradoxical, to say the least. But yeah, I am definitely hammering in. And again, I'll repeat what I said last time around because he
Hmm.
has to be the right person. There's no other way to it. So yeah, moving on to Fergie time. Best time of the क्या कहते हैं? Best time of the year with Christmas coming in. Best time of our podcast, our last section. So I think let's maybe keep this one a positive one. So our attack has definitely turned around, and I know you agree with the same thing. It's literally a mirror image of last season, be it goals, set pieces, XG, and whatnot. A few things to just build the mood, sort of set the tone. So after scoring our fourth goal, that makes United the second highest scorers in the league, just behind City, at 30 goals for that matter. And we have now trumped Arsenal to become the number one highest goal scorers from
Hmm.
set pieces at 11. And do you know how many we scored last season from
Two,
set
three.
pieces?
Idiots
11.
score 11 last season. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Entirety of last season, we have already trumped,
Hmm.
equalized
Okay.
that tally. And yeah, like the beautiful part which got missed out maybe is even though Mbumo has had very weak 3 to 4 games now, we have still scored a decent amount, which means that the goals are relatively shared as well. Which also means that if certain other players pull up, our numbers could be mighty impressive. And with the current, uh, I think with the current goal scoring charts that Mbumo, Punia, and Sheshko have been able to make, I think we're in the running to score 60 plus with these three players across the entire season, which would put us in the same realm as what Ole's attacking force did with Cavani, Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford.
Hmm. Interesting. Uh, s- I did not expect us to score only 11. Firstly, मुझे लगा था हमने खाली 5-6 मारे होंगे, but
Yeah,
हाँ.
surprise to me as well.
See, we have improved attacking wise, but
ये
हाँ
free
हाँ
kicks
हाँ
भी
हाँ
set
free
pieces
kick भी
goal
set
में
piece
आता
goal
होगा
है.
ना?
No, no, not
Not
penalties भी
penalties though,
see
right?
penalties corner and free kicks सब set piece है. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
penalties are also
absolutely.
set piece goals then. Okay.
Hmm, interesting, interesting. See, I think XG. I think I read somewhere that we are the highest XG generating team. I think XG is a misleading stat, but number of goals do not lie. But
Yeah, yeah.
that will only help us if we stop conceding goals. So that's equally important. While I can be happy about us scoring 30 goals in 16 matches, wherein we would have taken 26, 27 matches last season to score these many goals, I think we are the seventh or eighth worst team when it comes to conceding goals. We've conceded 26 goals already, right? Uh, so I think बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा देख मतलब एंड वो कोचिंग स्टाफ को ही फाइंड आउट करना है कि कैसे बैलेंस हो.
Nee, so yeah, I think like in fact we may be even more worse than seventh, eighth. But still, there's
Hmm.
good ominous signs. Also, to be very fair, that we don't have our, let's say, two of our best centre backs were not fit, like Dillit and the kind of season he's had, and even Maguire for that matter.
Hmm.
So yes, that is going to have some. But even if during this transition phase, we could be the team who outscores the competition, I'd love that. I mean,
That's
if
what
that's what it takes,
Klopp's
वो भी
first
अच्छा
season
है,
was,
like
right? कल वाला match जो 4-4 था reminded me of the 5-4 वाला Norwich वाला match, wherein it just swung from one stat to another, and finally in the 97th minute Lalana scored that winner. If you remember that match, right? 5-4 वाला Norwich वाला जिसमें सब पागल हो गए थे, उसका चश्मा टूट गया था क्लब का. हाँ हाँ हाँ,
Lalana, I
same
think, took
same
his
match.
jersey off, right?
So this was
हाँ,
slightly
हाँ, हाँ.
similar. I mean, I was pet. I with every attack that Bournemouth made in the stoppage time, I was petrified of us conceding a goal, and we did come extremely close to conceding a goal. अगर वो सेव अच्छा अच्छा सेव पैरों से नहीं निकालता, so so I think that's a very fine observation, Klopp fella. Good job.
So, by the way, we are tied 14th
वही
in
सिक्स
terms
बस
of
ना,
goals conceded.
सिक्स फर्स्ट ही तो हो गया.
हाँ, मतलब only 5 teams are worse
Yeah,
off
yeah,
than
and I
us.
think you're right. डिलीट का एब्सेंस सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. उसका क्या है? व्हेन इज ही कमिंग बैक? कुछ अपडेट है? नहीं है ना कोई अपडेट?
No, I'm not sure. Like, it's not like that news isn't too mainstream. So, yeah, I think moving on to the next bit, out of Ahmad and Bumo, Mazrui going away for AFCON, who will be missed the most and potential impact and maybe any
I think
positive
we'll
silver
miss Ahmad the
linings?
most. Ahmad and Mbumo equally, I think, because that's the entire right side of us taken away from for the Afcon. So the only silver lining could be, us finding different ways to win rather than depending on Ahmad and Mbumo to churn out chances. So it'll bring out a different facet of our play. It could probably also give chance to Shea Lacey and the likes to to stake a claim as one of the squad players. Maybe another another silver lining could be that Bruno plays on the right hand side and Mainoo gets his chance. But I think it is an interesting conundrum that Amorim is faced with. It remains to be seen how he will adjust. Maybe the rumors of us shifting to a 4-3-3 to accommodate their absence is true. Let's see how it pans out.
Yeah, I think we could, like, we will miss all three given the squad depth we have anyway, because Mazarui also has a habit of
Yeah.
playing decently well most games. Um, but yeah, I think good. Maybe another thing, I'm pretty excited to see Mount becoming more of a central figure in our starting 11, and of course with Sheshko coming back, maybe the timing it couldn't be more perfect, because clearly Xerxes is not cutting it, and his days are also numbered at the club, and rightfully so. He's had enough chances now to stake a claim. And yeah, also from an opposition standpoint, it was very easy right now to do an overload
Hmm.
on the left flank, like their left flank and our right. And now they're going
I,
to
I,
have to solve different
I have a
problems because
sneaky
we will also
feeling
be
that
little more.
Cunha will become the star player in their absence, in Mbumo and Ahmad's absence. I have a sneaky feeling that he will take over the mantle.
Yeah, I hope he goes on a goal scoring run. Like easily he should have had so many more goals than what he does. And I want this discussion to be over about his numbers come the end of the season. Like I can't be prepared enough to watch him just score 5, 6, 7 goals in a Premier League season. Maybe 5 or 6. That would feel very, very, very odd for a player of his quality. So yeah, expected
Huh,
India lineup.
interesting,
Lots
interesting.
of changes, I think, are in store. And of course, moving on from that, what do you predict the result to look like? And if you would
So
like to
I'm
predict the
thinking as I'm
scorers as well.
speaking, I think Lemons will start. Back three will remain the same. Heavens, Euro, and Shaw. I think. Bru- no,
There's
I
no
don't
way
think so. He's
Martinez will
not up
start,
to the
right?
market. I don't think he's up to the speeds. I think Ugarte comes back into the fold because Mainoo and Bruno can't play together. It'll be a suicidal approach, in my opinion. Or Ugarte and Mainoo plays as the center pivot, but I think Bruno and Ugarte will be the center pairing, and we will have a Dallo and Dorgu on the two wings, and then we will have Mount, Cunha, and Sheshko up front. Maybe if Sheshko is not completely fit, Bruno Cunha becomes a false nine. Mount plays as a left 10, and Bruno plays as a right 10, and Menu becomes the number 8 then.
It's going to be fairly tricky. Like I think your first lineup, I can echo with that maybe. But yeah, it would be very interesting to see Ugarte start after really long. Uh, I just hope whatever happens, Mainoo starts the game. I would want to see him start more than Ugarte, to be honest. But let's see. Let's see what comes out. How about I think
So, so
predictions? What
because
would you?
we, I mean, most of us expect this to be a difficult match and expect Villa to be the favorites going to the match. I think we will win 1-0 just because we are not expected to win this match.
That's surprising that you're
Ah,
saying such
ठीक
a
है,
clean
2-1.
sheet. So just because of that, I'll go 2-0. Us winning the game. Will we get a clean sheet? I'll keep predicting a clean
See,
sheet. Maybe just
See,
for
also Aston Villa is
gamification
on
purposes or
a
something.
streaky run. I mean, and they're not playing mind-blowingly well. I mean, they're not blowing teams out of the water. They are overperforming on their XGs, and these stats are bound to catch up with you. I hope, and I hope the catching up happens with our match. And we have historically been a good. So Villa Park has historically been a good hunting ground for us. At least in
They're on a five
we are on a
five
five-game
game
winning
winning
streak,
streak,
right,
right?
against them.
Aston Villa is currently on a 5 game
Nine games
winning
winning
streak in
streak.
the Premier League, which is the.
9 games, no? I
Are you
mean, they
serious?
won either 9 matches out of 10 or 9 game winning streak.
No, no. So they're on a 5 game winning streak right now.
I think in those
But
5, they
yeah,
won 2 or 3 matches in the stoppage time, no? If I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, see, they're not. See, Emery is a very pragmatic coach. He adjusts his team basis the opposition that he's playing, right? And he doesn't have a fixed style of play, right? Unlike say Guardiola or a Klopp or Amorim, right? In loose terms. So I think we do have a fair chance of beating them, but it will be a close encounter. Therefore, I say 2-1. But see, the battle would be won or lost in the midfield. Their midfield. I think Kamara and Onana, very physical, very aggressive. That's the kind of midfield we have always struggled against. So it remains to be seen how we cope up with it.
I think I revised my prediction to 1-0, 1-0 victory. 2-0 seems a bit too stretch, especially when you reminded me of what their midfield looks like and what
Huh.
ours would be. So, but so Villa have they won 10 games, drawn three, lost three, and uh, and yeah, they have not lost a single match in the previous 8 games in all competitions. But
Seven
Premier
match,
League,
no?
they're on a 7 match winning streak. Yeah, yeah. Their last loss was to
Oh.
Liverpool, 2-0, surprising. And they've also beaten City, of course, at home during this stretch. But yeah, it should be a interesting game. And yeah, I think on to the penultimate question now. Our 115-year-old record stays intact. No away team has ever won at Old Trafford since 1910. Um,
बहुत ही गलत
yeah,
बोल रहे हैं. No,
अरे
no.
नहीं
It is
नहीं
if we are leading at halftime, we have not lost a match in the last 352 matches. ऐसा कुछ है.
but there's another stat as well. Huh? No away
Three.
team has ever won at Old Trafford since 1910.
हाँ हाँ
Yeah, three
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
consecutive matches, scoring 3 goals at
See, I think
yeah, which all
see, I
away
mean,
team.
जो first stat है वो भी ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत important stat है. Just that it is something to be proud of कि you don't throw away a match once you're leading. I think the second closest stat to this is
Mhm.
150 matches or 62 matches. ऐसा कुछ है. बहुत difference है. So yeah, I think we did come close to losing that. But कभी ना कभी तो जाएगा वो stat, so ठीक है. I think for me the most important stat for me personally with United is our record of having academy players since 1931 or 41. I think that to me is extremely important stat. वो कभी नहीं टूटना चाहिए. बाकी तो ठीक है. That's such a
So
such
yeah,
a strange reaction.
ending with a because I don't have a favorite stat. मेरे दिमाग में ऐसा कुछ ही आ रहा था कि the number of trophies Sir Alex has won, that is my favorite stat. Because I'd like to be in that winning zone again. But yeah. ठीक है. So I think ending with a bunch of positivity, hopefully. Some new links are heating up, and भाई, I have a sneaky feeling
वाह.
कि वो आ रहा है. And I think that he's maybe going to come in January. If not
समर तक
January,
तो
he's
नहीं,
coming
नहीं
in the
कोई ना
summer
कोई,
for
अगर
sure.
जनवरी में नहीं आएगा तो कोई ना कोई
Be-
इसको ले लेगा.
Because I can't get over how Amorim is literally flirting with him. He's literally caressing him, touching him in every which way, inappropriately as well, maybe. Then no manager does that. And this smirk that he has on his face. What was the need of saying this? They're a special team with a special
अरे,
player. Really? और इतनी
I
बार
think you're
बोला ना
reading.
उसने. और उसी के बाद न्यूज
I
आ
think
रही
you're
है,
reading
फेब्रिजियो ने भी
reading too
बोल
much
दिया.
into it.
You know,
But
and
हाँ, link up तो है.
I think, yeah, I think
So
he
so
is a
so
very, very good
uh
transfer.
this is so there's this one guy, very reliable guy. You know my sources, right? I've been giving you inputs since last 10 years. उसमें से एक है जिसने बोला था कि that नहीं नहीं,
Degree
वो
analysis.
नहीं है, वो नहीं. उसने बोला था, इस बंदे ने बोला था कि ये नया है, इसी साल मैंने फॉलो करना स्टार्ट किया है. That what he's heard is that United are after two players, Mark Gahey and Semenyo for this window. Both could be transformative signings. Uh, yeah, let's see. And also, James has highlighted the fact that the real approach to squad building is not, sign a player when there is a need, but sign a player when the opportunity is right. And I think Semenyo is an could be an opportune signing.
Yeah, and our sort of transfer transformation, sort of like how we deal with transfer market, is there to see. Very, very, very evident. And even with January, that's the whole sort of whatever PR narrative out there, that we're only going to
In
buy
summer, yeah,
players that we would have bought in the summer anyway. So that does not change. There is no reactiveness anymore. It's all
right.
proactive, thorough, well thought out. But yeah, it I didn't know about that for this particular source citing two players, and ultimately, even if we get one, I'm sure it's going to be pushing our
So
team
you think
easily to a maybe
say a
hopefully.
Semenyo would propel us to top five? Signing like a Semenyo?
So even with our current squad, I feel we should finish in the top five anyway. So if Semenyo comes in, that just gives it a little more weight. I mean, then I would say I would sort of rate the manager and judge him a little more harshly on how we do it. But yes, Semenyo coming in, but again, वो भी है ना, we're dealing with people. It's never a 10 out of 10 verdict that yes, he's going to work in our team from day one. We are entering a new system, we're entering a new team, a new manager, a new city, a new home. Everything is different. So, but at least you could just be sure that the variables are as good as they can be. Like the balance of probability is in your favor. But yeah, like January, I think apart from Bruno, I don't see. And Bruno was a killer. I mean, day one onwards, and he has been on point ever since. So yeah, like at least it would have gave us good fodder to talk about, right? Hopefully, us being active in the transfer window, and that would also show a good intent from our side as well, like that we
Right.
want to finish the season strong, and we are backing Amorim left, right, and center as well. That is another thing it will show me that the management is truly with
No, I
him.
agree, and also, while they are backing Amorim, they're not signing system players. They're signing players who can play across different systems. So I think that's something that's also a good shift from the previous approaches.
Yeah, so I think on this note, with Semenyo incoming in January, or possibly Margegi, or both taking an Uber together and shaking hands with Wilcox, we end our seventh episode. So please like, share, comment, subscribe. We would like to double our audience to six, eight of us, hopefully soon. And yeah, we promise to be a little more regular come the new year. And like I said, this is just we are sort of here to discuss how we fell in love with United, and we continue to do so over and over again. So yeah, see you real soon. Hopefully another time before we start the new year. And for all Christians out there, Merry Christmas. Maybe whatever, I don't know, Sabbath or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. But yeah, hopefully we'll be sitting here after a Villa victory. And yeah, see you
Cheers.
real
Bye bye.
soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.